looking downfield, launching downfield, going for it all. It is close. Bears win. Speed's killed. The big play. And a stiff arm. George Kittle. Flag fly. And Manning's going to heave one. There's a flag. Back to the
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Network. I'm Mike Herrick. I'm here with my good friend, Kendall VanDerBilt. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, another week in the books. Another mock draft, man. It's going to be a good one. I feel like this is the one where I feel like I've done enough. I've experimented. I've played around. It's been simmering, right? I've got my live draft on Sunday, so I'm pretty locked in. I'm ready to go.
I love that. And, you know, I got a little bit to wait. So for me, this is just more like a, I'm trying different things out, seeing different, vantage points from everybody and what everyone's doing. We, me and Kendall were talking before. We got, right now there's Scott Fishbowl ADP that's out there from Fantasy Life. So check that out if you haven't already. It kind of looks like this right now. Just putting it out there. You guys can take a second, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do. But make sure you guys check out Fantasy Life. They have that going on right now for the ADP. Very interesting. I saw Puka Nacua up there as the 101, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Here's our scoring for those that are new to Scott Fishbowl and not sure of what's been going on. Pretty much normal, but until you get to things like the tight end, +1 for extra reception. Another point per first down, which is huge. And then you got all the 10-point bonuses that you see here on the right-hand side. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. It's a lot. But, really a good format. Love what we're doing. We're doing the video game theme this year. We have 8 flex spots, 2 super flex. So let's get this thing going. We got a bunch of guys in the chat ready to go. I'm going to start. Let me make sure everybody is aware that we are going.
Appreciate that, Mike. Love it. New butt over here. I'll try not to let you down, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this year. I feel like last year was my I think I had the format figured out, but the injury bug got me too early. So we're gonna try to really use the third eye and just predict the injuries. All right, man. 101. So Mike, who's your 101? I got to get that out of the way right now.
Well,
I like that a lot. I think that's my 101 right now.
It's killing me because that was one guy that I was really looking forward to having as my 101 to kind of complete what I was planning on doing tonight, which is doing something a little different than what I'm used to. But for now, I'm still going to continue to do what I wanted to do. So Kendall, I was talking to Kendall before we got on, and I told him I'm going to be doing something a little different tonight. And for those that are watching that know me, that know how I draft, what are my normal tendencies and so on and so forth, I'm going to do something a little different tonight. And I want Kendall to figure out what the hell I'm doing tonight and what strategy I'm looking to do. I saw a strategy from a buddy of mine that I enjoy watching, and I really enjoy his content and really like the beer company that he works for as well. So I want to give it a try. I want to see if I like it. I want to see if it feels right in my opinion. I need to do it before I need to do it to understand if I like it. I could see somebody else do it, but it's not the same until I do it. So I want to see what happens. It's different. I don't think I think Kendall might get it, but it's one of those things that it's really interesting to see what might happen here in this particular draft. I've been seeing a lot of different nuances for Scott Fishbowl. So we'll wait and see how it turns out. Kendall, you just went with Brock Bowers at your 106. How you feeling about that pick?
I think it's my locked in 106, but I mean, I'm almost prepping to get sniped there. I was looking at the ADP and I saw Bowers was right now the consensus 107. So I'd have to be a little on the unlucky side. I feel like JSN is an easier pick, recency bias. They just won. It's like JSN. It feels like one of the safest, easiest, like he's also incredibly healthy. How many questionables have you seen in your dynasty rosters? Or like, what is this? And JSN's just the perfect bill of health.
Oh, for sure.
But I feel like he's going to regress to the mean a little bit. I mean, it's one of those things like after you come off that meteoric season, everyone's coming for you. The world's against you. I just feel like, I think he'll have like an Amon-Ra great season as a wide receiver 3. But I think my biggest chance to win the league is Bowers sets the record again in a much improved Raiders team. In this scoring format, Bowers has the ability to catch 120 balls, right? And the double PPR element is pretty intensely like it's favored, but specifically if you can get a lot of targets, every target elevates what it is. So, I think Bowers is my locked in 106 right now.
Yeah, I like that take. I think tight end, the high end tight ends are definitely worth a grab if you can. It definitely pushes them up in ADP a ton. We see with the scoring bonuses, the wide receiver is a little bit more valuable in this particular type of format comparatively to other positions like running back and even quarterback. Quarterback, I'm not going to say is nerfed by any means. I mean, they're still going to get points for that third down conversion. They're still going to get points for carrying the ball and stuff. So the rushing quarterback is still kind of and the guy that can throw for 300 or 400 yards, like that's going to be guys that I would want to be targeting for quarterback. Aiming for guys like Josh Allen is of course the number, the 101 when it comes to QB. So those guys are really going to be highly coveted in this particular format, but once they're gone, they're gone. So it's hard to really replace that type of production. Coming up on me right now. Now, this is going to be a tough one for me. A lot of the news that just came in with Malik Neighbors, I love the fact that he's here at the 211. I view it as really good value, but unfortunately, I just can't take the risk of him possibly being out 4 to 5 weeks. It's a shame. I would normally pick him here, but I'm going to go a different route, and it feels early. I've seen Chris Olave go in a lot of different places, but I really like him this year. It's so hard to let this go. Yeah.
I love that pick in Loveland. The Olave pick, I love it, but I also hate it.
So early.
As soon as I see Olave go off the board, especially like to someone I know their drafting tendencies, that just tells me that there's one other person that wants to take my Tyler Shuck away from me. That stings a little bit.
Well, I mean, we know each other well enough to know how much we both like Shuck and we both like Olave. So it makes this so much more difficult when me and you are in the same group. When it comes to your particular Scott Fishbowls that anyone else might be doing, always be aware there's going to be someone like that in that room. There's always going to be somebody that you're drafting with, or even when you're doing the slow drafts, that knows has an idea of what you might be doing, and they'll catch it. So just be aware of it. Just, you got to be water. You got to always be able to, pivot when necessary. How are we feeling about your next pick? You have so many really good options here.
Yeah. I mean, it was going to be Tyler Warren super easily. Little bit of a teardrop after him. I should probably take a quarterback here just to not box myself out completely. I am looking at Devon Achane. I am looking at Saquon Barkley. I think it's just too good for. Yeah, I'm really liking Herbert there.
Interesting. I do
It
like
was
that.
close. It was Herbert or Dart for me.
Okay.
I think Herbert has a much better chance to do those 300 and 400 passing yard games, though, in my
Completely
opinion.
agree.
So that's kind of doing the difference there for me. I think it's kind of a flat tier. My natural inclination there, Mike, is I actually really wanted to take a difference maker where there's like a tier break at the position. So
Yeah.
for me, I really liked Barkley or Achan as guys who can finish as one or top three and have those really elite, sort of. Chase Brown might even be close to that conversation, but I think he's a tier below.
Okay.
At wide receiver, I was actually reaching down all the way looking at Garrett Wilson and at Ted McMillan, but Garrett Wilson in particular, I feel like
Okay.
could potentially be just 100-yard every single game that he's not hurt type of guy, really blow the bonus system away. But we'll see. I also thought there was a shot he comes back to me. That tier of wide receiver is extremely flat. I would only want to take one of them here in the third if I definitely wanted to take a second one right in the fourth. So because I think that's a flat tier, I just wanted to do the at quarterback. I do like the middling tiers, but if I have one, I can wait longer for my second one where I don't want to have no quarterbacks see a run and then probably have to take two at a spot that I don't want to, right? So this was the sacrifice a tiny bit of value just to stay a little bit more open. I picked the 106. I prefer to be in the middle every year. The way I like to draft is falling value, the ability to throw together lots of different combinations and get sniped just endlessly. Yeah, and I was hoping like Laporta coming back was also in play for me as a pick that I wanted, but I obviously I can't do Laporta on the comeback if I don't take a QB. I don't think so.
Were you surprised to see Herbert get past me at the 3-2?
No, because one of the strategies I could see you doing that I have seen a little bit is the 0 QB build. And I have a feeling because you're the type of guy that I think you're fine with 2 quarterbacks, but you absolutely aren't good. If you do a 2 QB instead of a 3 QB build, I think you want 2 QBs you love. And you're classic Mike for a reason. You want a strong RB1 and 2, and I think you want a QB you can trust, and you're not a streamer quarterback guy. So that's where my bet is at right now. I think you're going 0 QB.
Yeah. You figured it out real quick. That is exactly what I'm going to try to do here, and I don't care that you all know about it.
We're on the clock. Jackson Dart is a nice pick here, but I think
it's not a bad pick.
I think even with the ADP. Wait a little bit. Although, I mean, what am I going to do? Jeremiah Love? I mean, dude, I don't know. I think I might have to go
4,
Dart here.
3, 2.
No, we're going to go upside.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it.
That was the most like snap. I probably made the worst of all the decisions. You ever do that where you're like, if I had 10 more seconds, I wouldn't have made that pick. Like, it's the one pick I wouldn't have done.
I have done that so many times. It's not even funny. I've done that where I ended up picking like 2 guys on the same team, and it's just like, why would you do that? Like,
dude, that is the wrong pick there, by the way. I'm sorry to everyone.
It's not
watching.
A horrible pick. It's not like the worst pick. It's just there could have been other choices there that would have definitely been a little bit more beneficial for you. But
that was definitely telling, though, of that's the type of pick that happens. Specifically because I can't search for like wide receiver specifically and just have that up in a limited time frame. Because I still think I really enjoy some of the wide receivers here.
For sure.
Not. Maybe it's close.
See, I have the issue because I just changed everything on the fly. Let's go with this.
Yeah.
I'm
part of me is like, is Travion Henderson just a better pick than Jeremiah Love straight up just because he'll get a bigger snap share? Is that crazy to say?
I don't know, man. I'm not a big this year I'm not really crazy high on Jeremiah Love, and it's really just because of his ADP. His situation isn't the worst in the world. I mean, he's not in the best situation either. So I mean, I'm not fully against him, but at price, I'm really not liking him. So it's really just trying to gauge where he goes. Like if he's going in the second round, I'm not in on him. But and I'm talking about redraft, not Scott Fishbowl. Him dropping in Scott Fishbowl is fine. But I'm just not there yet on drafting him. I just don't feel comfortable. Oh, there's something wrong with the. Oh, there it is. I was going to say there was something wrong with the clock for a minute. It went to like 35. But yeah, I'm not in on Jeremiah Love this year. I'm just this rookie class really scares me, to be quite honest. It's really hard to
break here. Thank God.
It's really hard to find that particular player that will be a standout guy that I'm really on board with throughout the season. Demonic going, I'm really trying to stack the stack strategy this time. I don't hate it, man. It worked out in the context of you getting Caleb and Loveland with Devontae and Hurts. I'm not a big Hurts fan to begin with. I don't hate the idea. I'm just not a big Jalen Hurts fan. He's just never really been that type of guy to throw the ball a ton. And Barkley was and still kind of is the main gate to what they do on the offense. And, you know, I can't get on board with him, and especially for the fact that he's going to be the one. I think he's a solid talent. I just don't trust Jalen's arm. So it's less on the talent of Devontae. It's more on the actual talent of Jalen Hurts. Like I just don't think he's an accurate quarterback. I don't think he's one of those guys that can throw the ball well. I don't think he's one of those guys that can do anything other than run the ball. And even at that point, I understand his value in fantasy. I can't get on board with him as a quarterback, but it makes complete sense for this type of format. It's hard for me to even touch Jalen Hurts. It really is.
Yeah,
I know you feel differently about him.
Well, I feel like I'm more middle of the road though, right? Like I'm in on what I think is like a really good roster, right? Like the whole team's a really good roster. The defense is good, so there should be lots of offensive opportunities in decent field position, right? And this is a touchdown-centric game, and this is a guy that can throw or run one in, so red zone chances are just very valuable in general, and they should have a lot of them, right? So from that standpoint, I think he has a strong floor ceiling because of the underlying metrics of what create those, right? Okay. But I have an issue with the player himself, right?
Yeah.
The math person in me says every other statistical thing says like, hey, the team's good. The offense should be better.
Should be.
Anything changing should make it better, right? So he should just be very solid, right? But I do think his ADP was a little too elevated for this.
And he's always
think about this one now.
His biggest issue for me is the concept of last year.
Do I take it?
His passing numbers were 3,200. And he ended up rushing for only 400 yards last year with the 8 touchdowns, which brought him down all the way to QB9. He has to maintain a certain amount just to be viable in fantasy to begin with. You know, like that to me is bad. I mean, he had a 64% completion percentage last season, which, you know, if you're putting it towards all the guys that played at least, 300 plus passing yardage, he's pretty low on the list of completion percentage. I'm just not on board with someone that can't get the ball downfield. And, you know, they had a hard time with AJ Brown too, being out for a couple games. So I understand that, but now you don't have AJ Brown for the season. Like you are now without him. So I don't know. I'm just not there on Jalen Hurts. I'd prefer to go a different route. I have no problem with Saquon. That's fine. They definitely use him a ton, so I have no problem with that. But he's the only piece of the Philadelphia Eagles that I want in one way or another. I don't mind Dallas Goedert for a tight end premium type league, but that's about it. And I ended up getting my guy. Really happy with Junkins. Glad,
dude. I auto picked in the 6th. I needed like another.
Did you have him queued or did it auto pick?
I have every tight end queued
Okay,
in
got it.
order, order of where they come in ADP, not where I have them ranked.
Got it.
I have so I'm all like, that's part of this thing though, is I'm gonna auto pick the next tight end if I can't make up my mind. So that's gonna
Got
make
it.
the decision for me, and then I have to figure out like, well, how bad was it? Because like I auto picked Kyle Pitts, which that sentence, like that ends most people's nights, potentially their summers, right? Like that's not a spot you want to be. But I really have to think like, I was going to snap pick Henderson out of panic because I knew I was low on clock, right?
Hey,
but when I
man.
really think about it, I don't know. I mean, I think Pitts is probably just straight up the better pick unless Henderson hits like his crazy ceiling.
Yeah.
Just a good outcome for Henderson. Probably doesn't finish as well as Pitts right now, in my opinion, because of that super juiced double tight end premium.
I really like Kyle Pitts, especially in this format. I think that he can really have a resurgence coming in the next, in this particular year. One, it's mostly because of his price. Not gonna lie, I've been the Kyle Pitts hater. I was the one that hated him from the beginning, from his first season on all the way till now. But I have been a lot more on board with him after what I saw at the end of last season and what he could do overall, even with a quarterback like Penix. He ended up finishing his last, since week 13 to week 18. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 10 tight end finishes. And out of those, he had 4 that were in the top 5. Like, that is incredible to me. At that they're trying, and I understand he was tight end 1 for 1 and he had a 45 burger that no one was expecting, and he had a really great game that day. But beyond that, he had a really good solid season to round up. I mean, he finished as tight end 2, so in full PPR, above Travis Kelce and above Tyler Warren and all the other guys. So I feel like he has a better opportunity this year. His ADP is at a better spot, where in Scott Fish, he's in the 6th. He'll probably go and redraft probably around the 7th, 8th. It's a lot better than what he was projected when he was a rookie and when he was a sophomore and all that. So I like it a lot better now than I did back then. And I think he really has an opportunity to do well moving forward. So Kyle Pitts, not a horrible pick for you right there.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, there's a lot of people that say like, hey, much like Rome had a down season because injuries really plagued him. And it was a testament to how good he was that he was still able to be on the field okay. Where people are saying, hey, when Pitts is healthy, like he's fantastic. And
yeah,
we've seen certain coaching staffs really hold down the tight end position in particular, where some coaching staffs really make it work, like make multiple tight ends work. Yeah. It's a very swingy position based on like the head coach can change the tight end scheme and extremely impactfully, right?
Yeah.
We're like running back. Honestly, that you can change the touches, but either you're good or bad. You know what I mean? It's more about the split with the second guy, where tight end's not so much. So I'm kind of bullish on Kyle Pitts in a large format tournament where you're kind of removing the like bottom 20-30% of the outcomes. If you have a single high pick that has a bottom outcome, you just don't win, and that's fine,
Yeah.
So Kyle Pitts becomes like a so much better pick in like a best ball type of situation or a big field tournament where you're like, well, he either does the things we want or I don't have to care about it, right? Like exactly. It's all good. Yeah, here's the tight ends are really ripping off right now.
Yeah, that and that's where I have to start making a thought of what I might do or not do. We got Demonic Mike going. I don't like Hurts a lot either. Just like the first down goal line chances. Trusting the stack. I agree. I understand the reasoning behind him. Like I said, I'm down on him because of all the other nuanced things. I have my name for a reason. I'm a very classic football watcher. I love guys that can do a little bit of both. I've always been a big fan of guys like Justin Herbert and Josh Allen, who have been able to do both things, run and throw the ball. Especially for fantasy, it's important to get over that 4,000 passing yard milestone, as well as getting at least 500 rushing yards if possible. And the rushing touchdowns, of course, are important, but I just like guys that are a little bit higher on that number. So what's going on, man? How you doing, Zyron?
Philadelphia.
What's up, Pick?
What's up, bruh?
Hope all is well, my friend. I hope you are getting ready for. I don't.
Mhm.
Is Philly coming up, or did Philly already have theirs? I forgot offhand.
Nah, I would have seen a post about it by now.
Yeah,
I
I feel
think.
like I would have seen something about it.
Yeah. He's got pretty. By the way, a shameless plug for our boy Picadelphi over there. He runs some
Yes.
pretty awesome fantasy football leagues, by the way. They've got
Oh, for sure.
intense, like they require 2 or 3, probably more pages of scoring. But it's awesome. It's pretty lit. So
Yeah.
if you're somebody that like caps their leagues to like under 10, but you're looking for like real high quality, honestly check him out. Scott himself of the Scott Fish Bowl, I think voted for pick number of times for commissioner of the year with what he
Yeah.
puts out. So
Oh, I do
shameless
too.
plug. He's cool, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
We like
I
supporting
feel
cool people
bad
here.
because he reached out to me recently about joining a league, and I feel horrible because I'm at my league limit and I just can't. And I want to, but it's so hard to go one more because I already feel overwhelmed that I'm not even starting the year yet. So I want to, but I can. And you
Oh,
son of a bitch.
oh my!
I had him queued up.
Oh,
Demonic, thank you for
buddy,
making my day.
Mike,
I know.
I feel for you, dude.
I should have went with Likely first. I should have just did it.
I need to get
just,
the Stranger Things pack of like memes to put up for 111. It's like Mike.
I know. You want to know what I gotta do?
I need that in my life.
I gotta start.
So you decide to take my guy out of spite. That's how this goes.
I didn't know you were gonna take him. I guessed. No, in this case, you know what I gotta do? I gotta start finding more gifts that I can upload to this so that we can start using them more. That's my thing. I gotta start doing that. So, Pico, speaking of Scott Fishbowl, I've been sniped 9 times in 12 rounds. I'm so annoyed. Hey, man, that's the one thing about Scott Fish, man. You never know what's going to happen. We can't leave without at least one snipe. I like it. I know that you guys try. I know everyone tries to get me at least once.
Oh, I did get sniped. Jadarian Price is a great pick there. I
Yeah.
think I have to go. I'm just going to go quarterback just to get it out of the way. Shucker Stroud. Got to go with your boy, right? I got to go with my dude, you know.
You're lucky that he's still there.
Got to go with
I'm doing my strategy, and it involves no QB.
Jadarian Price was... I couldn't take him over Marv because I can't take him. Like, at cost, I'm going to take a wide receiver over a running back all day this year. But Price's ADP is super down there, so just tip to anyone watching, like, Jadarian Price is buried in sleeper ADP. But if you sort by points, he shoots to the top because ADP is like 143, but his points have him projected like way higher. Like, so he'll be top of queue in like the 7th round, typically, if you sort by points. So you can sometimes sneakily get him.
I know we've talked about it maybe once or twice, but I'm curious if you're still on board with. I want to figure out who you think is going to take over or be the lead back for the Seattle Seahawks. As we've seen what they've done in the past, they do have a very 70-30 split for the most part. It might have seemed like more for those that had Kenneth Walker, but on paper they were more of a 7-30 split. Who do you think is taking over that lead role?
Jadarian Price.
You think it's going to be Price over guys like Emmanuel Wilson and anybody else that might come out of the woodwork?
Yeah, here's what I think. I think they are going to not feature him by any means. I think it is going to be a 2.5-headed committee.
Okay.
But I think it's one of those situations where, because it's like no one expects anybody to not do anything, but no one expects anybody to be the clear guy. Okay. So optically, as a coach, you got a bunch of sales reps. You're worried about favoritism, so you have to do the coach thing. No, you don't have to, because everyone gets along in the sandbox. No one's like the guy or supposed to be the guy. So because you don't have to put your thumb on the rookie as much, it's easier to mix him in my opinion. And I think he's going to be so clearly like, I'm not even like a massive Jadarian Price fan. I'm just not super high on the other guys. I think they're reliable. I think literally by week 2, halfway through the game, he's just going to get mixed in more as a more efficient back with just more legs. Okay. But he's a rookie mistake away from being like the 3rd down back versus, right? I think Emmanuel Wilson is pretty talented, and when healthy, I think he's going to dominate the touches. And it's going to be to him and Price. And I think Price is a little bit of a better talent. Draft cap's obviously there too. So I think it's going to be him and Price splitting work.
Okay.
But I just think there's a situation where it's a team where if Price is just better, he's going to quickly become the 60-40. It'll be my real question is where the pass catching is. That's why I think Price gets on the field, because I think it's easy to just say go run. But in pass pro and other things, I think the rookie stuff might creep in. I think he's going to have to get put aside a little bit.
No, that's fair. That's a fair point. I'm still very out on that backfield.
Should we just take one more QB here?
I'm kind of out on the backfield in general. I have no problem with the team. I think they're going to be a solid offense like they were last year. I do think that this offense has a lot to offer moving forward. And let me make sure that I say my piece real quick before after my player comes. But at this point, I really do like this offense. I think that it has a really good chance of taking the next step. And I mean, I understand they won a Super Bowl, so there's no real step, but just the concept of it being a consistent, contributor on the field all the time. Okay. So I got a little I don't know about strategy, but let's see if I can get this to work. Because I know that Demonic knows me well enough to know what might happen next. And I'm curious if he can make the pick that I want to make, but we'll see. Yeah, see, I knew he was going to do it. Oh, he took both. Well, that wasn't the guys I was going for. I was going for Shaheed the whole time.
Yeah, Shaheed's a great pick. In this format, I like Shaheed. I'm a Josh Downs guy, right? In this format, I like Shaheed.
Shaheed is huge in this format because of the big play scores and all the big, the deep touchdowns and stuff like that. And he gets a full year now, like in a full training camp and everything, to be able to do that and to work with Sam Darnold and the offense and get a little bit more acquainted. He didn't have a ton of time in the beginning, so I really love that pick. And I love Demonic trying to snipe me twice, which by all means you did, because I love having Wan'Dale Robinson and Downs. Those are two guys I enjoy having on my team. But man, I was so happy to see that no one went with Shaheed there. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. This is where I get my my favorite wide receivers that are made for this scoring format. Where this is where I think tight ends actually go too high, because everyone thinks like they're like easily projectable without bonuses to be better here. But this is where I think there is a ton of wide receivers that are going to hit that big play bonus often enough that they're just straight up more value. Like Strange was on my board too. I like Strange.
I had Strange,
but I would, and I'll let myself get sniped. I mean, I'll just list my favorite players here because this is not for real, and I'd rather like help folks that are looking. Maybe we're thinking the same thing, right? I'm gonna just like look at like my queue right now for like wide receiver talent, and I have tight ends like Jaden Reed is still on the board, who is scary as hell in PPR for a guy that might catch 2 passes, but with the bonuses, those 2 passes are probably going to hit. He just a really nice deep threat. Jalen Coker. I don't think it's too early for him. He is fantastic when he's not injured. Coker. If you look at some of like the splits last year, my goodness, he had some games next to each other.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I was not surprised that they offered him a contract. He was definitely due for one, and I'm really happy he's going to be a part of that moving forward. I did have Strange in my queue, but I didn't want to pair him with Myers. I want to keep a little bit of variety at this point. So pick going. Also, for those wondering, I have a Discord.
Getting Strange sniped here for sure.
He's talking about his Discord. So if you guys are looking him up on Discord and or Sleeper, it's Pickadelphia for anybody. He's asking me record prediction for your Giants. All right. So I've talked about this a few times with a few people. Right now, my prediction for them is my hope It's more of my hope than my prediction. I'm looking for them to be at least 800. Or not 800, 500. I want them to be at least 8-9, 9-8. One of those two where they are a solid ball team. Silent. Wow, I'm having a rough day. Having a solid football team on the field and that they can play well and just not make me feel like garbage every time I watch them. I think we have the pieces to do that. I don't think we're going to be winning the NFC East in any way, shape, or form. I do think it will be between. I think it's going to be a fun fight, though. I think it's going to be like that one year where everybody was still like everyone was like 7-9, and we're all kind of fighting for the being that really bad that really bad division where everyone's just like trying to fight for the scraps to get in. So I'm hoping that we are at least 8-9, or that's about where I'm at. It's sad to want to be mediocre.
That'll do it. You want to scroll us down a couple bars?
Oh, I will. I'm gonna make my pick and then do so. Just trying to see where I'm gonna go here. Lots of good drafters here tonight, taking a lot of the stuff here. I see a couple of options, and I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go. I do see a guy like Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, his ADP's going to fly
it?
as soon as he gets signed somewhere.
But is it worth it right now with what's going on with him? I don't know if you've seen.
I think there's better picks. Personally, I would rather take some of the tight ends still on the board.
Agreed.
Like I would rather take Greg Dulcich than him. Just because like there are already no pass catchers. If he just has like 5 for 50, that's gonna be good enough to be like a high end wide receiver 3 essentially, or low end 2 with his.
No, I understand. I only asked the question because I feel like he's somebody that if he's on a team.
My thing is I would rather have the younger talent who might catch one deep pass than the guy who's going to be a PPR guy, because the PPR guy wide receiver doesn't quite do it in the scoring system. I don't think he's got the deep ball threat anymore. At wide receiver, I think there's like 4 or 5 guys I like above him, is what I'm saying. But
no, I get it.
Like, there's a point. I just think for me, I think he's probably a round away still.
Okay. Yeah. I keep seeing his name pop up. I keep seeing all the stuff that's in the news about him currently. And, it seems less likely he's going to be even in or on a team this year, just based on that. I think it's very hard to.
If it's taken this long, he's missed so much like opportunity to get to know the coach or the coaches and
too.
the players. Like that's a real thing that you should pay attention to. The chemistry type of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like spoiled for choice here. You guys are taking good picks, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying there's a lot of juice on the board. I'm just going to tell you right, there's a lot of juice on the board, including the aforementioned Greg Dulcich. But
you got time for him.
Oh my goodness, I can't even where do I begin on what?
I don't even know. Like, I'm waiting for it to come back to me, and I really have no idea of what I want to do here, because we're starting to get to the scraps of the heap here, and we're
doing the Brandon Ayuk is not playing football, so Antonio Williams just. I mean, either he has a good season, or Chig has a good season, or Jaden Daniels is the most overpriced QB. One of those 3 things has to be true.
I agree. I see that's going to be a lot of the stuff right now is the diva wide receivers that are out there with Brandon Ayuk and with Stephon Diggs, like I was saying before. So a lot of these guys are kind of in the conversation, but everyone forgets about these rookies that are there waiting to pounce. And one of them is Williams, who could easily be one of the better.
Naylor was the other guy I was thinking about there.
Naylor is definitely a solid
I have
option.
Bowers, so I can't prioritize him. But Jalen Naylor, by the way, his ADP is, I think it's in like the late 170s, 180s.
It's probably moving up. Yeah.
His ADP makes no sense to be that low.
Yeah.
No, he's just as heavily affected by very poor quarterback play and honestly a lot of mouths and an effective running game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think enough is talked about that He could have been a lot better. He's like, I don't know what to compare him to. I got to think of somebody, but
he reminds me a lot of God. I had a guy in my head and he just popped out.
he's just like, he's never been a bad wide receiver. He's just
No.
never been in an amazing situation for several years. And he came into the league kind of older.
Yeah, a little older, and he's always been the third guy behind somebody else. I mean, he's been behind, Jefferson and Addison for a while, and both, to their own credit, have been good. And every year they either try to grab somebody else to kind of fill that second seat, because Naylor has been right there, but just never gotten the opportunities that he I think he deserves. He's a solid choice this year. There's no one else there. Beck is not going to be the number one receiver there. They don't really have anybody else. Deontay Thornton, I really like. He's a solid player. I just think he needs a little bit more time to develop. He has the metrics. I mean, if you look at his just general profile, he's almost profiled at like Calvin Johnson when he was a rookie. Like, and I'm not like saying in any way, shape, or form he is Calvin Johnson. I'm just saying like he's that size and he has the ability to do that. So it's really getting him more involved. I do like Thornton, but it's one of those things where I like him, but I can't afford to pick him or draft him, because there's really, unless it's like the last round where I'm like throwing a dart, because he is definitely somebody that I think, could be a really good asset moving forward. So,
All right, gotta take your medicine pick here. Feels good, but I would rather take other picks. But he's a handcuff. I have Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So Kenneth, we clearly know Kenneth Walker is the lead guy in Kansas City. They drafted Braden Smith as well last year. They have him on the roster. They let go of Pacheco, and they went and drafted Emmett Johnson. Who do you think is taking the number 2 role? Do you feel like it's Emmett Johnson?
Yeah. I think I saw most of the snaps. I know who you're talking about. I just call him the other guy at this point, because he's a guy that, I'm telling you, he was in a bunch of my dynasty rosters, and I watched the games, because you should always pay attention to the RB 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the Kansas City Chiefs. Just same as the 49ers. Just know, and in dynasty, you can pick up guys for free that actually have like 2 very meaningful games down the stretch and can do something pretty serious. I saw him play, and he did not have it. Mentally, vision, absolutely not there. For a play caller like Andy Reid to waste a high-end snap on that guy, not for me. He couldn't. I don't know what his metrics were, but 4 yards a carry seemed pretty off. Even like Tony Pollard with fresh legs, right, would crush it. I'm not saying everyone has to do that, but when you're the off-speed back, right, that doesn't have a lot of touches, you better be electric, man. And when you're not, I don't think you get that many snaps in the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL to show me something. And you know what I mean? Like do you remember them talking about that guy as a rookie the same way Emmett Johnson? Not even close, no. Right? The amount of film on him, the amount of like third-party people that just watch training camp and are like, yeah, I mean, Kenneth Walker's the dude, but like the guy looks fantastic. No one has ever said that about Smith. So yeah, I think he'd be the backup. And specifically, this is like a tournament stack too, where like, when does a running back get injured? Like Kenneth Walker probably more favorably gets injured later than sooner, after he's got, a long season in front of him. By that time, like past the bye weeks, that's enough time for the rookie to have earned his spot more so than the first 6 weeks of the season. So if we get a big injury in week 13 from Kenneth Walker, absolutely, I think Emmett Johnson is going to come in and be the guy. Whereas, week 2, Kenneth Walker pulls a hammy or something. I don't think it's quite the same story at that point.
I mean, they both have
tight ends we should take.
They both have similar builds too, and they're both pretty similar in general. Both around 5'10" and 5'11", around 200 pounds ish. They both have similar builds, so I can definitely see them basically rotating both, to relieve Kenneth Walker a little bit. Um, Denzel Boston was definitely on my radar. Really like him a lot this year. Think he has an opportunity to do well. But I also like Jerry Judy just a little bit more. I understand everyone is kind of out on him. I think he has an opportunity to do well, especially if Watson is at QB. I think he can definitely. I think he can do something special if that becomes the case.
Denzel just fits that profile
Agreed.
of ambiguous, so swingy, and at this point in time, big field. I want to take bigger shots than calculated ones.
Yeah.
So it was. I had three guys I was looking at there. He was highest in ADP. I knew he would get taken. I think my other guy is buried a little bit more. So played the ADP game plus fits the archetype I am looking for here. Again, I'm looking for tight ends. There are some tight. I mean, like Stowers is still on the board, although I don't love him this year. Mason Taylor, don't really love. That's the tight end I would have gone with next.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but I like him next year so much. Ferguson, I think he has a chance to be real good. He would have been my pick this round and was in serious contention at 15. I think Boston would have gone, though, and I thought Ferguson's not super hype right now, outside of a few pockets of guys. I think he's going to be electric this year. There's just a lot of other mouths to feed, so I don't know if you're going to know when to play him until way down the stretch.
Yeah.
But we know that team's going to be playing meaningful snaps later on.
This is where in most Scott Fishbowl drafts you are picking so that others can't have these guys. This is where you grab as many guys as you can that you think others might want, because I don't. The free agency list is fine, but you're really hitting. You're trying to find those diamonds in the rough that have that one step opportunity to be on the field. Because you don't want to be the guy that is putting $99 of fab to go grab that guy, which most people do in week one. You want to be the guy that already has that guy. Once the season starts, you want to be ready and raring to go. God forbid something happens. So always want to be one step ahead of all your league mates in one way or another. We are coming around the 16th round right now. We are flying through this. I love it. Right now, we got Kendall, who's going to be making his next pick.
Yes, indeed.
I'm curious which way he's going.
Sniped. Two guys to pick from, both guys that can hit the bonus, both at the wide receiver position. Not necessarily. One's a deep ball fast guy. One's more of a screen guy. Do we go with the youth, or do we go with the proven to put up 40 points in back-to-back weeks? I have Brock Bowers, so I cannot take Trey Tucker as easily. We're going to go with Zachariah Branch. I do have Kyle Pitts, but I actually think he correlates better with Kyle Pitts.
I was really hoping Zach made it back around to me in this round. Really a big fan of him this year. I really think he has an opportunity to, step up to be the number 2 in that offense in one way or another. I'm liking this right now. I'm in a situation where I can go I can go one of 2 different ways. I gotta see what Brocal decides to do here. If I'm probably gonna have to do kind of what Kendall did. Unfortunately, I missed out on a few opportunities.
Still going 0 QB?
I'm
just saying, Gino's on the board.
No, I'm going 0 QB. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Rodgers?
I'm gonna take the shot on not touching.
Yeah. In your spot, I think that's the better pick. By the way, with Judkins, that's
that was.
I did the same thing around earlier, right? So
yeah, and that's where I was going with it. Like I was trying to find a guy that would really help my roster and also be a solid handcuff if needed, and somebody that I wanted. I was looking for Woody Marks at one point for David Montgomery. I missed out on that. James Cook doesn't really have anybody that is scary that like you really want. Ray Davis is a solid running back, and he really he tends to split time with Ty Johnson. So it's really difficult to kind of understand who is the true handcuff there. But I do like Braylon Allen a lot to possibly, be involved a lot in the Jets offense this season. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. So pick goes, oh, by the way, guys, next year I'll be doing a charity league similar to Scott Fish, but it has a unique twist to it that I think you guys would love. Keep an eye on that for next year. Believe me, I'm always down for charity, my friend. So we will chat when it comes up next year. So yeah. He was saying, bro, someone took Rodgers from me in the 12th. Oh, that sounds gross. I bet you would have loved to have this mock draft if you were in it as a real draft. I know I would.
Mike, can you scroll us down a touch, or I can remove chat if we need to? I can see through chat pretty good there.
Yeah, you're good. You're fine. I can always take that off if you need it. But yeah, pick.
Well,
I will do the best I can when it comes to charity, and especially for good causes. So yeah, definitely let me know. We will find a way, especially for charity leagues. I will always do my absolute best. We are now getting into that 18th round. I have a guy that I'm looking for. I'm hoping is still available. I have to check my board because I haven't really been able to see, but it looks like he is off the board.
Grabbing Theo in the 20th. Ooh,
say that again.
Fields. I know Malachi Fields was ready to go for me. That one.
Love Malachi Fields this year.
Like that one, Cat. Like that one.
No, I was looking more for. Yep, he went well. Wow, I didn't think he'd go that early. I was looking for
that's my Keaton Mitchell.
I was looking for Isaiah Pacheco, but he went well before I thought.
Yeah, Checo went pretty early there.
Yeah, I was hoping he fell, and yeah, he didn't. He definitely didn't. I'm a huge fan of Pacheco being on the lines this year.
Grimy here now, I like it.
But now I gotta start looking at some type of wide receiver for my team. I'm really unsure of what I want to do here. I have a few options that I might go with. So pick goes, why do you like Fields? I know Kendall will give his answer when he's done. For me, I love his opportunity. Oh, boo. Boo, Kendall. Boo.
Dude, I know it's gross as hell,
boo. Boo. I'm just gonna keep booing you.
I don't love it, but
I'll tell you my reason for Fields. I think he has the metrics to be able to be the wide receiver 2 on the Giants on the outside. Reason why I say that is because at this point, I like Darryl Mooney. He's definitely a wide receiver that can fill a void that we need. But I think he's more suited for the slot position more than he is at the outside position. So for me, I'm just a little bit more, and I'll even prove it by the context of picking him here. I like him in the slot. I think he can fill what Wan'Dale did. I think him being on the outside, he has an opportunity to fill in because at this point, I am unsure of Malik Neighbors and what's going to happen to him. Calvin Austin is not a guy that can play as a number 2. Mooney, maybe. But at this point, they're going to be using Malik Fields as a X receiver until Neighbors comes back. Now, if those that don't know the news, Neighbors is currently, there's been a lot of rumors that after his second surgery, he's more than likely going to be out until maybe week 5. And that's being generous. He's had a hard time coming back. He's had multiple ligament surgeries. Like, this is a big deal. I really think that it's going to be something to keep an eye on. And I do think that Fields can fill that role. They don't have really anyone else on that team. Darius Slayton is not going to fill that void. I'm sorry.
Clock. Damn it.
You were on the clock, but you did pick a really good tight end.
I was not even paying attention. That's not the pick I wanted. No. It's fine. I did have him in my queue. I was between him or Dontavian Wicks, but safe to go with the tight end.
All right. Well, either way, I do think at this point, Fields can take over that role either as the 1 or the 2, and be able to be heavily involved in that offense in one way or another. I think they're going to run the ball more than they're going to throw it. I think he's going to be a lot more, valuable because of his big size and, be involved as a blocker more than he is going to be part of the passing game. But I do think that they're going to, do as much as they can with Likely and, get Fields involved. He has a really good catch radius. I love his ability to, I love just his general metrics of where he came from. I just he had a good season at Notre Dame. I like what he has to offer. So, what about you with Fields?
I mean, I like that he went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I know that's silly, but at the same time, I do think that's generally a plus in the off the field stuff.
True.
I
Very
think it's
true.
a plus for football mind. I think that if you live in the Midwest for a little bit, you just don't have that celebrity big. The Midwest is good for you. It's good for a lot of folks. There's a reason I like my tight ends to come from the Iowa area. So I think all those are factors that help. If the coach likes you, and coaches like everyone from the Midwest because they're adorable Midwestern people, from Notre Dame, it helps you get on the field. Guy that will block. It's just opportunity. Plus, I think there's a lot of intangibles. Intangibles for me lead rookies to get on the field faster. Getting on the field faster means you have at-bats.
Yep.
Those are strikeouts or home runs, but they're at bats, and most rookies don't get them till very late. Look at Amon-Ra's rookie season, and you'll see sometimes it takes a little while. And that's just the way it is, right? So for those reasons, that's a reason to like him in general. Not a reason. That's 100%. Not a reason to like him above another player. We'd have to get into some nuance for that, but there's a lot of obvious reasons to like him more than most.
I like that. That's actually a really good, observation of that. I liked him for a lot of reasons as well for that. He's definitely a standout when it comes to on the field and off the field. He's a very solid player that I think, I think he was the Rome that I wanted back, when we were drafting either, wanting Rome Odunze or Neighbors. I was a big fan of Rome Odunze. I was really on board with him coming to the Giants, and then we went with Neighbors, which I was still completely okay with. I like Neighbors, but I loved Rome's just demeanor and who he was as a player, like on and off, and like just his general, just who he was. So I think it's the same thing with Fields. So, all right, we did our, probably our last Scott Fish Bowl draft. We might be moving on to redraft in the coming weeks. We'll see. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
maybe two more, possibly two more.
Possibly. We'll see. Because I go until August 1st. So I need some practice. Otherwise, I'm going to be drafting like a redraft guy. So we're going to go through our teams real quick. I'm going to go through mine, which, like I said, Kendall figured it out real quick. I went 0.
Give me some credit.
I gave you credit. You got it in the third round.
Yeah, there we go.
I love that. I went with a 0 QB method. Reason why, it's super flex. You can use whoever you want, and you can fill the void of using just skill players other than the QB. I took this from my good buddy Brian Drake, who I love to follow. Got to meet at one of the expos. He's a really good guy. Like I said, love his beer. He works for Omen Gang, so one of my favorites. And I thought it was a really interesting concept. He grabbed a lot of different guys that I don't have. He had like Mbuka and who else? Brown and someone else. I forgot off the top of my head. Nico Collins, a few other guys. I did not get that lucky. We have a really... Hey, what's going on, little cat dad? What's going on, man? Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm excited for this draft coming up. Little cat dad, which draft are you going to be at? And I'm just curious. I don't I haven't seen that name unless this is Worf, but no, that's not Worf. So
I do
yeah,
the same thing where I'm like, we might know each other. I
Yeah.
assume you know everybody though.
I
Whenever
know
you
some
you don't
people.
know somebody, it gets me worried.
I know a little bit. Like I know Sal when we go there, and I know I know Mike, and I knew a few other guys. But anyway, I went with 0 QB. I didn't pick one. Didn't even go near it. I thought about grabbing Deshaun Watson just to be that guy. But oh, nice little Joe P. Got it. Which draft are you doing at NYC? Oh, your Teenage Mutant Ninja. Nice. I will be sure to find you over there when we get a chance. If you see me there, don't hesitate. Come on up, say hi. Love to see you when you're there. Yes, demonic. Upload that board when you're there, when you're done. You more than welcome
dude,
to.
yeah.
We do have the Scott Fishbowl channel for those that want to post. Go for it. We would love to talk to you guys about your teams. Right now, I went with Gibbs in the first round. I was between him and Puka Nacua. I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go when it came to wide receivers or running backs on my team, but I figured Gibbs is just as good as both. I got Chris Olave right after that. A little disappointed, kind of hoping that other guys fell to me, but they didn't. James Cook, got him back. I thought he was the best player available at that tier, and I really wanted to get him at in the third round is pretty cheap in my opinion. Jalen Waddle after that. I'm really excited to see what they can do over there in Denver. Lad McConkey after that. My flag plan of Junkins at the 6th round. I knew Demonic would probably take him, so I wanted to get him first. David Montgomery.
I like Demonic's first 7 picks a lot. Actually,
100%.
10. No, okay, I like his old draft, to be honest. I kept looking. I'm like, oh, no, I like every one of those picks.
Just
Damn.
Grabbed everybody.
That's
that
a good draft, actually.
Yeah. I got David Montgomery after that. I really love what he can do in Houston, and there's really no one to stop him. Jacoby Myers, just love the season that he had last year. Really think he can blossom in Jacksonville. Dalton Kincaid. The Bills are a different dynamic when he's on the field and he's heavily involved and really involved with Josh Allen. TJ Hawkinson, I think he can do that. I'm not saying that TJ in any way, shape, or form could be what Trey McBride was, but I do think that he is a good enough tight end to help out someone as bad as Kyler Murray.
Love that call.
Yeah, love it. I'm a big fan of TJ Hawkinson this season if I can get him. We already talked about Shaheed. Really love the choice. It's really because of the big play bonuses. I really do think he can, really shine. Shakir, it was a dart throw there. I just liked him a little bit more than a lot of the other guys that were available. Tyrone Tracy is a hidden gem. I think a lot of people don't realize how good Tyrone Tracy is, and especially for this format. I understand everybody goes for Scatterboo and everyone wants to pay up for him. Go for it. I have no problem taking Tracy, because Tracy will be heavily involved in this offense. Brian Robinson, same thing. He is Tyler Algier light. He is somebody that will be involved in this offense as the number 2 to spell out Bijan, and he still has a little juice left. I saw when he was part of San Francisco, what's the term? A little get up. He just
a little wiggle,
He had a little burst when he got to the hole, and he's a bigger guy that really can, I think he has the ability to do well.
So Troy like an energy drink sponsor, this would be a great segment. We could put you guys in. Hit us up.
Oh my God, Aspire, hit me up. Actually, Zoa, hit me up. Rock, give me a phone call.
I love all of you guys equally, man. Just get on over here.
Zoa, I pretty much buy on a daily basis. Anyway, Troy Franklin after that. Just love the dynamic with him and Bo Nix. Really, they have good chemistry, and he was really good on deep shots. Dylan Sampson, just love his involvement in the pass game. Really good handcuff. I think he'll be involved even when he's not, when he's I'm not going to have him. I'm not going to be playing him, but he's a good handcuff, but he's really involved in the offense in one way or another. Braylon Allen, just a really good handcuff if need be. Calvin Ridley is, I think, very slept on. when it comes to Tennessee. I think everybody's focused on the two guys with Wandell and Tate, but everyone forgets about about Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley is someone people should be looking at. Darnell Mooney, right after that, we already talked about him. Jalen Blue was kind of just like, I have Javonte, why not? Or wait, did I draft Javonte?
Did you?
Well, no, I didn't. I thought I did. So I just grabbed him as
Just
a
pretend like you
secondary.
drafted Javonte.
Yeah, no. I drafted Javonte in like 10 other leagues. So it's one of those things where I'm
He's
just
an
like,
exposure handcuff, you know?
yeah, there you go. So I just like him. I think, he's one step away. So we're gonna go with that. Let's see what Kendall did. Kendall, what did you do?
All right, man. For those listening in podcast land, listening to my calming, fantastic voice before you go to bed. Appreciate you guys. So in the first, we got Brock Bowers at the 106. In the second, it's just a draft of my guys too. In the second, earliest I've taken him, we went with Kenneth Walker at the 2-2.
Love it.
Third round, Justin Herbert. Feel like maybe it was a little bit early. Don't hate it, but I keep pushing QBs down. Panic pick in the fourth of Jeremiah Love. About 5 players I would have rather had there, but it's not the worst pick in the world. It's just not the best. Getting back on track. 5th round, Harold Fannin. Too cheap to be here. Probably better than my 4th round pick. Really too cheap to be here. 6th round pick. Panic pick again. Kyle Pitts. This one I think panicked the right direction, actually. So the exercise paid off a little bit, in my opinion. 7th and 8th round. Really, I mean, I love all the rounds in this draft, but this felt like the ADP is just broken, and they're too far down. But Brian Thomas, 7th.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
In the 8th. Marv coming back. Little combined bet on the Arizona offense not being terrible too.
I'm surprised you got them at where you did. From when for every time that we have done these mocks in one way or another, they're always on the turn. Very rare that I've been able to see them be able to stack up in the middle.
Yeah,
so
I have the ADP board up on my other screen, just checking for like common values so far in the draft, and they were both a little over half round value, so I felt solid. My guy QBs in the 9th and 10th. 9th, Tyler Shuck, probably the guy I'm most in on. I thought I was the guy that started the Tyler Shuck fan club, and then the rest of the world got in on it. I need to do social media stuff so I can get credit for my takes, because right now I just look like a bandwagon guy, right? So there's like 5 people that know I'm the highest in the world on him, but we'll see. CJ Stroud in the 10th. I think he's a smash pick. He's probably one of the best picks on the board, in my opinion. If they turn it up a little bit, they're going to turn it up in a real way. Then I've got my big stash of wide receivers that I think hit the format. Going to hit the deep ball or just undervalued. Xavier Worthy in the 11th. 12th, got Matthew Golden. 13th, Antonio Williams for the Commanders. In the 14th, going to go with Emmett Johnson. I took Kenneth Walker in the 2nd. So this is a high-level handcuff. Take the medicine. Handcuffs I love in Dynasty. I hate in redraft, but this has a deep bench for a redraft league. So you get the benefits of the deep bench to make the handcuffs work. So I like that a little bit. 15th, Denzel Boston. 16th, Zachariah Branch, one of my favorite rookies. 17th, Mason Taylor. The best tight end on that team, and I think a guy who will take a big step in year 2, NFL dad, and his counterpart is banged up a little bit at the wrong time. Hate when rookies get banged up in OTAs or training camp. Not good, especially at a position that typically takes at least a year to develop. So I think people are drafting the wrong tight end early, in my opinion. Brandon Ayuk, it sucks, but it's upside, and it's upside from a player that has finished as a top 10, where everyone else is an upside we've probably never seen play, or something of that line. So, I mean, it sucks.
Football this year, though.
I don't like him, but if he plays football, he's the best pick on the board. If he doesn't play football, he's an awful pick. But, I'm doing a lot of handcuffs in this round anyway, so I'm treating him like a handcuff against his own brain. Say that. There you go.
Hey, man, I mean, this situation is crazy because I keep seeing where there's a good probability that he's going to be put on some list and he's not going to be able to play anywhere. And they will handcuff him to, the radiator, if you will, and just kind of go, you have to stay here, but we're not going to pay you either. and I think it's going to be something interesting, to be quite honest.
I mean, you're probably right. I just always think there's at least one stupid person in the room that thinks he's the smartest,
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to take, but it'll be I'm not going to say it's going to be fun to watch, but if there's nothing else going on, I'll listen to some IUke news, I guess. I mean, I would probably rather watch.
It's the only news that I get.
I would rather watch like high school golf than more IUke stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Scotty miss the cut this today, and that was hard to watch.
Have you? So, are you a YouTube golf guy? Do you watch
not as much as I want to
be? Okay, you need to, at least this one. I won't put everyone on you, but you need to go watch the YGT they just put on.
Yeah, I got to look at that.
Go specifically go look up the YGT tournament. Okay. It's like a multiple parter, and each video is like 4.5 hours. It's super long. It's like the best golf coverage I've ever seen. I think it's more interesting than the PGA.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
You get the golf cart cam in between holes. You get the personality.
Cool.
You get a little drum. I love what they're doing in this space.
I like that. I might check that out. It might be my little guilty pleasure that I watch while I'm working.
We need to get more golf talk. Golf is popular right now. And
I mean, come on.
If we're gonna do the streamer thing, in this space, right now golf is in, and we get to talk about it because we like
it. I need to get out and play. So anyway, continue. You got your Ty Johnson
rounding
in there,
it up, man. Yeah, I got Theo. Actually, I always liked Theo. I think I liked him in the draft, to be honest. Yeah. And why not? And Mayor, I got my Alpha and Omega here. I got Bowers at the top at the 106. Makes sense to handcuff him in the 20th. So
I like it.
There you go, another Notre Dame guy. I got a soft spot for my folks over here in South Bend. You know what I mean?
And I will tell you, I was able to talk to a few people and heard some little rumblings, but from what I keep hearing in Raider Nation right now, Mike Washington is not listed as the number 2 so far. He is not being listed as, I think he's around the number 3. Right now, he is not the number 2.
The little scat back that I loved last year.
Good old Dylan Lobby will be number 2.
Lobby, baby.
Right now, he is number 2. They love him a lot. They really like what he has to show and what he can offer the team. With the especially with changes that have been going on there, they really do like him. And right now, Washington is still not there yet. And they still have preseason to kind of see what he can do and all that. But as of right now, Dylan Lobby's number 2 on the Raiders. So keep that in mind for those that haven't been watching. We are done with our Scott Fishbowl draft. We did great. I want to answer good old picks question here because this is a good question. How do we feel about the Ravens offense will look this year? I think they will be one of the worst passing offenses again this year.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they will. I think they have a worse roster than in previous years, but from a passing offense situation, I actually think that Elijah Surratt is going to be a valuable piece for their real life team more so than fantasy. I think he can do a really light, sort of like a light Jacoby Myers. Like, I just think he's a talented slot player and they need like a move the chains person. And Zay Flowers, I always loved as a talented player, but he's kind of a broken play guy, right? He's like 5'9", he's like 180 soaking wet. You know what I mean? He's a slightly more gifted Xavier Worthy in a lot of ways, right? So I like Flowers, but he can't do it all. If you can add a competent slot player along with your deeper threat, it opens up Andrews to just kind of be around. I just think they were missing that slot player. I hope Jalen Lane does something. I'd say Jalen Lane. That's not the Commanders guy.
Other guy. No, Jacoby Lane.
There you go. Lane. Yeah. I think Surratt's probably the more valuable one, but I just think adding a slot player and then having a bigger bodied X that could develop, I think that depth, like something will work. Now I don't think they're going to be top 10. I really have them pegged as like a 12 through 15. Just slightly above average, middle of the road, maybe closer to 15, but not one of the worst passing offenses. When you have to load the box for Derrick Henry and Lamar, who was a little more banged up than we'd like to see him last year, if he can run a little bit, him plus Henry does open it runs the throwing game open just a little bit more. And I think in the offseason, when you look at like why as a team you were sort of imbalanced, I think they'll look at it and say we're a little too predictable. If we can't get a competent passing game going, we can look like the Philadelphia Eagles really quickly. And that's going to be something head coaches look at. When you have a rushing quarterback in a good rushing game and you suck, the Ravens have to look at the Philadelphia Eagles and say that's what's not to do. So how do we fix that? And I think they're a good front office and a good back office. And good leadership does good homework, takes its medicine. Give them credit for who they've been in the past as leaders and as an organization versus the Madden rating or the talent on the field. I think that's more predictive of, a long season's outcome.
Yeah, I have to take the opposite opinion here. Only because the reason why I know why Pick asked this question. Me and him are very big Lamar haters. I am a big Lamar hater. I am not a big fan of him in general. I don't think he has the ability to have a season like he did in 24. I mean, yes, he finishes as QB1. He was a fantastic talent, threw for over 4,000 yards, had over 9,000 rushing yards, or 900 rushing yards. He had an incredible season that no one else could ever put out there. He's a very talented QB. After he put up a year like that, he ends up coming back out with good talent, good, everything. No one really changed. Everything was the same. Harbaugh, the coaching staff, everybody was the exact same. He put up 2,500 yards and rushed for less than 400. I don't see the same thing happening again. They lost their center, all pro center. And on top of that, they didn't really add any big pieces. He wasn't really anything special he's never been anything special in my opinion. I've always seen him as a below average type quarterback when it comes to throwing the ball. He's a very talented runner. I mean, come on, I can't say that he's not. His legs are the biggest thing about him. And I understand rushing is king when it comes to, to fantasy football. But I have never been a fan of him being able to hit the thresholds of he's got to throw for 3,500 yards just to be a viable top 5 option, because he then can usually get to the 600, but he was hurt for most of the season. So he has to rush for over, 600, 700 yards just to even be viable, and, touchdowns on top of that. So, and he barely got over the 20 mark. So I'm just not on board with him yet. They didn't give him any really good options. I think Surratt can help in real life comparatively to fantasy. I do think Jacoby Lane will be a good part of that as well, but I don't think they're enough. I think them losing guys like Picard, who was a huge part of their own game, huge part. I don't think people realize how much he was essentially an extra lineman that was a running back, or a fullback. He was a huge part of their particular offense. Derrick Henry is also, of course, the big part of it, and losing Likely too, who he wasn't utilized as good as he should have been, to be quite honest. He could have been used a lot better. I think with this particular offense that's coming in and the head coaching and all the stuff that they have here, I think it's going to be a different dynamic than what people think. I'm a little weird. I don't know a lot of these guys. I keep looking at the particular roster. But I don't see anything special to me that is just like standing out that makes me think that he can do better without a guy like John Harbaugh and, the supporting staff. I'm just not there. I just can't see it. Zay Flowers is not the guy. And, he's just not. He's not. I've been low on Zay Flowers my whole life because I just don't see it. He reminds me too much of Kadarius Toney. I can't. He really does. The way he plays, just same concept. So just not there yet.
They'll be a fun one to watch, right? They can be pretty polarizing, but when it goes either way,
strong defense,
winning organization, then it's going to be one to watch. Easier schedule for them this year, from what I've seen, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Pick goes my co-host. Think I hate him, and for some reason, I don't think Myles Garrett is not. I don't think Myles Garrett is not elite when I know he is. Then just spread misinformation. But yes, Lamar should not have as many yards this season. Oh, man, you should come on our show and tell them how it is about Lamar. I'm telling you, man, I have no problem with that. If I can work that out, I will. Of course, man. Anytime, always reach out. We'll try to set something up. Evenings are a lot easier for both of us in one way or another. If we can find the time, we will.
Just trying to find the time to get on the show more, man. I every week I tell myself I'm going to do like 5 shows this week, and
then we end up doing none.
and then I just get tired, man. But
no, it's all good, brother. We have 2 kids that we're trying to take care of. Well, you have 3, I got 1, so we're just trying to keep those 4 kids all happy. So,
future producers, eventually we're gonna have a full squad over here. So we'll
we need, we always can use the help. But either way, I have no problem doing that. I enjoy talking about that. Myles Garrett, still not sure why people think they are underrated on him, but that's another conversation for a different day. I even had that conversation with my brother, who's a big defensive guy and loves defense and really good at finding that type of stuff. And I tried having that conversation with him. No. I'm like, okay, has a sack record, but not good enough. Anyway, so thank you everybody for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. I know me and Kendall really appreciate everybody coming out. Make sure if you haven't already, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show if you haven't. We really do appreciate it. We're trying to build this channel up and get it up to over 1,000 at one point. So please make sure we're almost at 100. Let's get to that 100 mark and then let's go forward. So really appreciate people liking and subbing. If you haven't already, make sure you guys say hi to Kendall on Sunday. Make sure if you're watching from that Chicago Live, for those in New York City, I'll be there August 1st. So don't hesitate to come by and say hi. You will see this guy in one way or another. Bogeyman will be somewhere on my hat. It'll be this color or somewhere else. So if you can't find me, this is the bet. Well, if you can't notice me in the crowd, I mean, I don't know how you can't. And I'll probably have some Bavaro jersey on, most likely at one point. So yeah, other than that, really enjoy having everybody here. Kendall, always a pleasure, my friend. Please make sure you guys check out Evan on Monday. He will be doing another mock draft all the way up until the start of the season every Monday night on Monday Night Mocks with Evan Sather. So please make sure you check him out on Monday night. We will see you guys next week on Friday night. We'll see if we're going to do a Scott Fish. We'll see. Either way, we will post it in our Discord and or the Fantasy Cares Discord. Please make sure you guys check out the description as well. Everything Scott Fish is there. Make sure you guys are donating. Make sure you guys check out their merch store. Buy your shirts, buy your hats, buy your hoodies, cups, stickers, you name it, they have it. Make sure you guys are doing that. That's all listed below in the description. Also, ways to contact us as well if you guys want to, all listed below. We have all of our channels in that particular in that thing. Check out our Discord. Check out everything, man. We're trying to build this thing up again and build a great community. So come join us on that journey. So we will see you guys next week. Sorry, Kendall. I know I'm just like talking a ton right now. But yeah, Kendall.
Catching up on my trades, man. Trying to get all the players you haven't gotten yet.
There you go. All right, brother. Hope everyone has a great night. Good weekend. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.